Welcome back to the Wonky Brain podcast. It's Friday night and I'm sitting in my room doing absolutely nothing. But that's okay. I honestly prefer being alone. I love solitude lately, especially because my disassociation has been so bad. Like it's been off the charts. And that's what I wanted to talk about this episode is disassociating because I don't know what's been in the weather lately, what's been in the air, but I disassociate all the time. I'll be perfectly normal and I'll be having a conversation with my best friend and then just complete fucking silence. She's like, hello? Hello? And I'm like, no, don't bother me. And it it is one of the most annoying things because half the time I don't even realize I'm doing it until I check back in and I've missed 10 minutes of the conversation and I'm like, wait, what are we talking about? My friends are like, girl, where have you been? I don't know. I don't know where I've been. That's the issue. Because when I disassociate, I'm not here. I'm on another planet. I'm in another realm. Couldn't explain where I am. I hate feeling like that. I hate disassociating because it makes me feel so out of touch with reality. And that's one of the biggest things that I feel like I struggle with when it comes to my BPD, my borderline personality disorder, is that I disassociate like that. Something triggers me, disassociating. I don't split as often as I disassociate. Like, I'd rather just disappear out of sight, out of mind, basically. But I do that with myself, not just with objects. I do it with myself and I just disappear from the conversation, from the room. Even if I'm physically there, I am not there. I can promise you that. Um, but after my overdose back in October, mind you, keep in mind, I was 2 minutes away from dying, 2 minutes away from death. And I was in a coma for 2 days, 2 or 3 days. Don't remember. But when I got out of that, the disassociating was insane. It was off the fucking charts. And I don't even know how else to explain it except for the fact that I don't feel like I'm me when I'm going through that. For example, I had hello. I can never talk when I'm trying to sit here and have a nice conversation with my audience. I can never talk. I have derealization and depersonalization where I don't feel like reality exists, nor do I exist. So when I got out of the hospital, for a while, I could like see myself driving in my car going somewhere. Like I'm somebody on the street or like I'm bird's eye view watching myself do things, but I'm not me. And people don't understand that. They're like, Sierra, that makes no sense. But that's exactly how I felt. Like I was completely out of body. I was up here. Meanwhile, like the real me is down here. The physical me is down here doing whatever needs to be done. But I'm up here watching it all happen. And nobody could understand that. I will probably find somebody who can relate to that on here. But for me, I just couldn't understand why I'm watching myself do all these things. You know, go to the grocery store, get in my car and go to the gym. It was just simple stuff. It didn't even have to be anything like super extreme because I don't really do anything that extreme anymore. But I would still be watching myself do anything. And it was so weird because it was probably like, I would say like 2 weeks it went on like that where I was just sitting there, even in my own room. Like I'd be sitting in bed and I was up here watching myself sit in bed, especially if I had somebody come over to the house. I was having a conversation with them, but I was watching myself have the conversation. And how do you explain that to somebody? Like, no, I promise you I was listening, but like, I didn't retain anything because I wasn't me. What? People look at you like you're insane. They're like, what do you mean you weren't you? I wasn't me. Don't know who that was, but it was not me. I was not, I was physically there, but mentally I was completely somewhere else. And disassociating, that's such a big thing with BPD. Like you sit there, and especially if something triggers you, and you just kind of you zone out, number one, zone out completely. But not only do you zone out of like what's happening, your thoughts just completely. So your mind opens up completely and everything's just. I don't know how to explain it, and that's the hardest part is because I'm trying to explain it to people who don't understand it. When you disassociate, you get it. You're like, no, 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 I completely understand. But there's people who sit there and they're like, no, 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 I zone out, I disassociate. It's not just zoning out. It's like you are not you whatsoever. You're just sitting there and you're watching other people do things and you can see it, like you can still see it sometimes, but you're not there and you're not going to retain any of it. So you'll have conversations and you'll disassociate and then you'll come back to, and that conversation didn't even happen. And people are like, what do you mean you were there the whole time? Like you were paying attention. And it looks like you're paying attention sometimes, but you're really not. You're over there. You're over there. The conversation is here, but you're over there. You don't know what's happening. And then people are like, oh, you don't remember that? Or memories, you disassociate from that, you block out shit, you like close off your mind and you're like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. And people with normal brains will not understand that, and it is so frustrating trying to explain it to a normal brain because you don't want to sound like an asshole being like, you're not gonna get it, but you're not. If you don't have that type of brain where you can just click out of anything, you're not gonna understand it. And I've been dealing with that a lot lately. I noticed it today. Sorry, Kristen. I love you, girlfriend. But at some point I was just sitting there, completely gone. I don't even know if she was conversing with me or if she was doing her own thing, but I was just sitting there like, what? you know? Like, am I here? Am I alive? Like those videos where they're like, do they know that they're alive? Do they know that they're here? Like the videos of dogs where they're just completely the comments are all like, do they know that they exist? That's me. That's literally me. Just a human. Just does she know she exists? Apparently not. I wish I didn't sometimes. No, I'm kidding. But I don't know, it's so hard dealing with that because you try not to. Sometimes you try so hard not to disassociate. You're like, no, I'm gonna be chill. I'm not gonna do it. And then you do it and you're like, fuck me. Didn't mean to do that. Now I don't exist anymore. Your conversation with me doesn't exist. It's gone. Completely gone. And I wish I could explain it in better detail because this just sounds like I'm rambling at this point, but that's exactly how it feels. Is you're so out of touch with whatever's going on in the moment. And then you think back to it and you're like, fuck, I did it again. Like at the worst, probably the worst times too. Like you disassociate and you're like, oh, that wasn't a good time to disassociate. Like that was something important. Like when people are giving me instructions, forget about it. Like I remember my ex-boyfriend one time, him and his friends were trying to explain poker to me and I was just completely disassociating. And then I came back to and they were like, so do you get it? I was like, what? No. Like, you think I got any of that? I just went to another realm that doesn't exist to you. And now I'm back and I don't know what you said. Sorry, but I don't know what you said. Feel like an asshole, even more so now, but wasn't going to get it to begin with. Then I just zoned out of it and now we're all confused. That's how it feels at the end when somebody's like, wait, what? You don't remember that? You're like, no. And then you're both just sitting there confused. That's disassociation for you. It's very confusing because you don't realize you're doing it. So then you come to, and it's even sometimes it's days or weeks later and you're like, fuck, I didn't get any of that. And that was important. Or that was a memory that somebody's talking about now and I was disassociated for it. Low-key feels like shit. Because you don't want somebody else to feel unimportant. And it's not that they're unimportant. It's just your brain sometimes checks out. You're like, I don't want to exist right now. So my brain is doing it for me. I don't have to do anything. My brain is just shutting off. and I'm gone. And that's how it goes. That's how disassociation goes. I want to go more in depth on this, but I just wanted to post a little bit about it. My friend Kristen gets it. She does it a lot. We'll probably talk about that too at some point. And I will be having my friend James, weather permitting, because it's supposed to snow on tomorrow night, Saturday. Yeah, tomorrow's Saturday. It's supposed to snow tomorrow night. So, weather permitting, James will be here on Sunday to do an episode. So, check back in for that. Try not to disassociate. I really can't say more than that because, fuck, dude, I'm going to go disassociate after this video. I'm surprised I didn't disassociate during it, just bringing it up. But share this with your friends. As always, like, subscribe, all that fucking bullshit. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching the Wonky Brain podcast.